Welcome to the channel. My name is Vincent, and in my last video, which was actually my very first video, I said I will not be doing any more videos up until September. But the first video got me really motivated, so yeah, here we are. Also regarding my last video, the people who watched it and gave me feedback, they all said the same three things. Too long, not enough animals, let's say action, and just too much of me talking about the project instead of content. So this video will be exactly the opposite. It will be shorter, I will try to talk faster, and it will only be enclosures and animals. This video is my very ever first update on the anoles I have, the tachydromes I have, the enclosures they are in, and I also have one Phelsuma species. So this is what we are going to do. I will zoom in on each enclosure and tell you about the theme I was going for, the animals which are inside, and one or two personal highlights or tips regarding the enclosure. I will just do this in one go so I don't have to do so much video editing. So if I make any mistakes, apologies on that. Let's start in the top left. So the theme I was going here for is dark. This is my darkest enclosure, and I picked all plants which are dark green or they have red accents, what makes them a bit darker. And I did this because of the animals which are inside, which are the Anole bahuruquensis. The male is there, a bit skittish because I'm doing this. Commonly known as the long-snouted anole, so the males, they have these longer snout than other anoles. Really nice patterns on their back. Beautiful colors around their eyes, blue and orange. Maximum snout to vent length 51 millimeters, so tiny and all, exactly what I like. And they're endemic to the island of Hispaniola. And my personal highlights or tips regarding this tank are the background. So two types of moss, really set in nicely, Java moss and sphagnum moss. And I love this background plant, it's really sticking to it. Slow growing, and it looks amazing, everything I want from a background plant. What I also like is this piece of wood that is almost sticking to the glass, so I try to maximize out space like that in these not so big enclosures. Second enclosure theme here is bright green, high density of plants. The wood I picked is bamboo, again all because of the animal which is inside, which are the Phelsuma cepediana. Quite skittish, so when I'm doing this they hide, but usually they are out on display a lot. When people come here they always say, hey, they are out on display a lot, and I think that's because I made a lot of options for them so they can hide quickly to multiple places fast, and then they show themselves more. If you typically have like one or two hiding spots, they will always sit there. Commonly known as the blue-tailed day gecko, so they have these beautiful blue colors. Sometimes it even looks as if they are giving light themselves. Yeah, second one. Third enclosure, no theme here. This was my second bioactive setup ever. Sort of a tryout. And yeah, animals inside, Tachydromes dorsalis, commonly known as the, maybe I can see green long-tailed grass lizard, endemic to a few southern islands in Japan. Maximum snout to vent length 70 millimeters, so a bit bigger, but for the Tachydromes I don't mind. And this enclosure is up for refurbishment. I want to redo it. My rule of thumb is going to be that I want to redo the substrate every 5 years. Then it gets kind of depleted. Microorganisms and plants will start to do less. And backgrounds I will change every 10 years. They say the structure of the fern root gets loose, that it can fall out. You don't want it. Highlights, this red bromeliad. I started with one, now they are 6. Also spread very nicely, and I also like the background, so the fern roots started to regrow and there's this really dark Java moss setting in, which you cannot see. And also when I redo this enclosure, I want to show the background more, which is a nice leap to the fourth enclosure. Also here I forgot to say that maximum snout to vent length of the blue-tailed day gecko is 60 millimeters. So here you can see the background a lot more. Theme here was less plants, more wood, and I went for different types of green, again because of the animals which are inside. One is showing itself right here. See ya, hello. Anole christophi, commonly known as the big vent trunk anole or the King Christopher anole, endemic to the island of Hispaniola. Maximum snout to vent length of 49 millimeters, really tiny anole, exactly what I like. And yeah, I don't have a personal favorite here, I just love this thing in every way. And yeah, what I did here was I created a centerpiece of wood. There's a metal plate under it, and then you can stick everything against it, and it's really firm in place, so the cork bark is against it and the plants and stuff. So I will use that technique more in the future. Fifth tank. Also here the theme was a high density of plants, but now more variety of plants. Animals inside are, you can both see them there, Anolis lucius, commonly known as the cave anole or the slender cliff anole, endemic to the island of Cuba. Maximum snout to vent length 70 millimeters, my biggest anoles at the moment, and they are beautiful. So they have these white dots all over their body and they start to glow gold under the UVB. Red cryptic patterns on their back, white stripe under the eye, and the males have a beautiful white dewlap with yellow accent in the middle. Personal favorite regarding this tank, definitely the animals. And maybe a little bit more unhappy with the plants, it's just too much, so a lot of trimming. Final enclosure, and here are all my babies in at the moment, so I don't have to mention the animals. It's all Anolis bahoruquensis. And look-wise, this is my favorite enclosure at the moment. So I again went with the centerpiece technique. This is the centerpiece, metal plate under it, cork bark against it, this other piece of wood against it, all the plants are surrounding it, and yeah, this enclosure needs a bit of time. So when these bromeliads will start to multiply around this centerpiece, then it's really gonna look amazing. So these are my 6 active enclosures at the moment, and I have this 7th I will quickly show and tell something about. So this is the higher version of this 45, 45 and then 60 enclosure of Exoterra. And this is now at step 1 of my 4-step process I use for setting up a bioactive enclosure. So the moss is setting in the background. It's going really good. I do this with this blender technique I will show in a future video. And I actually went shopping yesterday, bought all the plants and everything for this enclosure. And this weekend I will start with the 2nd step, which is hydration layer, filter, substrate, hardscaping, planting. Then I will wait 4 to 6 weeks before the plants are rooted and stuff. Then I go to the 3rd step, which is lighting, humidity, temperatures, and everything should be running. So microorganisms should be thriving and stuff. And when the whole enclosure is finished, then I can put in the animals. And this is my current setup, animals, enclosures and stuff. Yeah, so some last words for this video. This will really be the last video before the holidays. Right after, when I come back, I will get 5 nursery enclosures. They will go on top of this rack. and I can move my babies in there because I get them fully decorated, background planting and stuff. We'll do something with that regarding a video. Also, the rack behind me will become a bit wider. This enclosure will be finished and I will put it into the rack, so the whole wall behind me will be enclosures. I will also do something with that. Maybe I can combine that in one video. And yeah, after that I will start with this series of videos on how to make a bioactive enclosure for anoles with this 4-step process that I use. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I leave it all up to you, and we will see each other when we get there.